Today we will be discussing how to conduct a confirmatory factor analysis known as CFA, and we will be discussing on default model and modified model and how to check reliability and validity. First, you have to select the data file. Then select data files here, and you can go to file name tab and select the data file, and it should be free from any missing values. Further, should include only the items confirmed as per EFA, and just press OK. Then go to analysis properties, and you can have most of the default figures, and in the output tab you can select these checkboxes, then close, and then visit calculate estimates, and it will run the analysis. Accordingly, at the top you can see the summary of model fit indices, and when you select view the output path diagram, you will be getting covariances as well as factor loadings or weights. Thereafter you can visit view text tab, and here you can see the AMOS output. At this stage you can visit model fit, which we have discussed, and it was in the at the top of the AMOS graph. Same details are here, and then you can visit modification indices. Here you can select whatever the values with higher values, and you can covariate errors with higher values first, and you have to make sure that you should not covariate any errors which are belonging to two different variables, and not to covariate any error as against a variable. With that in mind, just select errors in the same variable and covariate by selecting the larger modification index values first. Then you can visit Mahalanobis distance. Here you can select whatever the responses with higher Mahalanobis figures, and you can check and delete those responses which could be possible outliers. Then you can close this one. Here even you can check the standardized estimates as well by selecting this tab, and you can switch between standardized estimates as well as unstandardized estimates. Now we will be looking at how the modification of this default model could be done. For that, we will be going to the error covariated model. This is the model which we have covariate the errors within same variables. Upon modification of the default model with error covariations, you can run the analysis and see the AMOS output. Just visit this data file tab and analysis properties and calculate estimates, and thereafter you can get the AMOS output in view text tab. Summary of the analysis or the indices, model fit indices, could be seen here at the top, and even if you visit here in view text tab, you can see the output. Under model fit you will be seeing the same thing. Then you can visit, as in the previous case, you can visit modification indices. Here, as we have already done most of the modifications, you will be noticing only few modifications are given, and thereafter you can visit Mahalanobis distance tab. Earlier there were some larger values, however now the figures have become smaller, and if required you can do the necessary adjustment even now. And now you can see the normality figures as well. These are as per univariate figures, and Curtis's skewness are given below here. Most of the Curtis's values for individual items are in between plus and minus 3, and for Curtis's most of the items figures are in between plus or minus 7. This is a relaxed direction, and at the bottom you can see multivariate figures for Curtis's as well as CR. As most of the items are within the univariate thresholds, even if the multivariate figure is not satisfied, you can skip and proceed. Thereafter you can visit estimates, and you can go to scalars. Then you can visit regression weights. You could see here most of the values are significant under the column labeled as P. Then you can visit standardized regression weights. These weights should be 0.5 or at least 0.7 or above. Here in this output you can see almost all the figures are above 0.5 and some are above 0.7 as well. Thereafter you can visit matrices, and you can scan and see both horizontally and vertically whether there are any figures which are above something like 0.4, and you can remove such items if required. Then you can visit you can see whether the model is okay, and we can compare the previous default model as against this modified model. This is a comparison of the previous default model and the modified model. Here you can see that most of the indices are within the threshold. Previously, CMIN figure was not satisfied. Now the modified model reports CMIN divided by DF as 3.885, which is a satisfactory one. and even the Ramsey is okay, and so many other indices are in line with the thresholds, or those have been improved satisfactorily. So we'll be looking at if you are having any plugins, you can select model fit measures, which we have summarized at the top of this figure, and it will be appeared. If the plugin is available, you can select plugins tab and you can visit model fit measures, and you will be seeing the results in the browser. Here, as you can see, most of the figures are within the acceptable range, and thereafter you can visit plugins tab, and if you have installed master validity plugin, you can check the validity of the figure by selecting master validity. Here's the output, and you can see there are no validity concerns here. That means validity is achieved. Most of the time you can see that CR figure is almost 0.9 or more than that. Even AV is more than 0.5, and the values of diagonal values are lesser than the values in the diagonal. However, if you come across any issues at this stage, you can run particular previous EFA for the troublesome items, troublesome variables, and you can modify and run this again if you have come across any difficulties or if there are any validity concerns. Likewise, you can run SPSS and you can check the reliability as well, and you can check the reliability of particular variables, and at this stage most of the time it satisfies. And with that, we'll be coming to the end of the session, and now you have already done the CFA and you have improved the default model, and now you are with the modified measurement model. Next step is to run structural equation model. So with that, we'll be concluding this session. Thanks for watching.